Yalla, my star.
Yeah, hi. Yeah, flat. Everybody want me like Wi-Fi. Like Wi-Fi. Like Wi-Fi. Everybody want me like Wi-Fi. Yeah, hi. Yeah, flat. Everybody want me like Wi-Fi. Like Wi-Fi. Like Wi-Fi. Everybody want me like Wi-Fi.
Hi, morning. Welcome to the first episode of Writing with DaCosta. I'm DaCosta, and let's get started. Buckle up first. Today, we're gonna be doing Instacart. Instacart is a grocery delivery service. I'm starting at it's 9:13 right now. I wanted to start earlier. I feel like starting earlier is better, like starting at 7 a.m. However, I wasn't able to because I have incidents. One thing you need to know about Instacart is incident reports. You have to schedule your hours and then they expect you to fulfill your hours. So if you have to cancel for any reason, or you're out of your zone, because you'll be working in a zone and you can choose hours in multiple zones. You can only work in one zone at that time. And if you're not able to fulfill your hours in that zone for any reason, Instacart will give you an incident report. And if you get so many incident reports, then you aren't able to book. I had to cancel a couple times. I'm not able to book my hours for Instacart ahead of time. I have to do it the day before. I'm only allowed to schedule my hours the day before. And they have a policy for it. So after about, I think it's 16 working days or something, after a certain amount of days that you don't have an incident report, then you can go back to scheduling your hours further out. Things you need for Instacart. Personally, I use a shopping cart. You can see it in the back right here because it's big in my trunk. A wagon or some kind of cart, because sometimes you'll have a lot of groceries and you have to go, upstairs and stuff. In my experience, people don't usually help with their groceries, so you have to, do all of that. So you need something to carry it in, or it could be a big quantity for whatever reason. Have some kind of cart or something, and then you're gonna have an Instacart card. This is what you're gonna use when you shop. Sometimes you only pick up bags for delivery for customers, and sometimes you actually shop for them. So it's not only grocery delivery, it's also shopping for people's groceries. I scheduled my hours to start at 10 because I wanted to start, like I said, at 7 a.m. I tried yesterday to schedule starting at 7 and starting at 8. They were waitlisted. So sometimes the hours you want in your zone might be booked and you have to waitlist. You have to get on a wait list, and then sometimes it'll say, oh, your hours opened up, you can actually work. Or sometimes it'll say, like for me this morning, 7 and 8 a.m. it just went to not being available. I guess there were enough people in that zone. Said my hours are supposed to start at 10. Sometimes it'll let you log on early, so let's see if it'll let me do that right now. I tried to log in earlier than my hours, which I said started at 10 a.m. 9 is unavailable, so it's probably fuller. When you get an order, it's called a batch. So on Instacart, you do batch it. A batch can be a one order, or a batch can be go pick up orders or go shop for multiple people. And it'll tell you how much you're gonna get for that batch, and you have about 4 minutes from the time you get the batch to accept, or skip it if you don't want it, and then somebody else will get it. Some things you'll have to consider when you're doing Instacart is parking. Sometimes there is parking depending on where you are in your city, in your zone. Or sometimes when you're downtown or in a business area, restaurant area where it's really busy and there's no parking, you have to decide if you want to take the risk of parking somewhere and possibly getting a ticket, because that's a possibility. Or you have to pay, you have to look for parking, so then that cuts into your time, because Instacart, the faster you're able to complete a batch, then it can give you another batch. So that's something else to consider. And also, ladies, make sure you have pockets. Make sure you have pockets. You're gonna need to have your Instacart card. Sometimes you're gonna need your ID because security wants ID for you to go deliver, and also money or change, you know, coins for you to pay for parking validations. I have a batch. It's gonna take me to Smart and Fine now. Oh, good morning from sunny California. No, it's not great. Arrived to the grocery store and I have my Instacart card and I'm gonna get a shopping cart and get started. I'm just about done shopping. Some things to remember, see all those gallons of milk and stuff, that's why you need your card. While you're shopping, what you're gonna do, you're gonna start shopping and there'll be pictures of what you need to get, and you go around and they make sure you have the right product because you have to scan it, and when it's the incorrect product, it'll tell you that's not it. Sometimes they don't have what the customer wants and you'll have to replace. Like they didn't have the water, you see that? They didn't have the size of water that the person wants, so I replaced it as something else, but then they messaged me and said they just wanted to be refunded. So sometimes that'll happen. Sometimes you can ask them if they want something different. I suggest mostly text messages. I only really ever call like if I'm delivering and somebody doesn't come out to get their groceries. But I'm done shopping now. Oh, another thing. Some grocery stores, when you enter in your shopping, it will give you products on the aisles they're on, which is really helpful. Sometimes they don't give it to you and you have to search the whole store. That's when it's a little more difficult. I'm gonna go check out now. See you soon. Finished. Everything's bagged up. You want to get things bagged so that it's easier to carry and then deliver. Like stuff like milks, they might spill in your car. You don't want any of that in your vehicle. When you go to check out, what you're gonna do is a barcode is gonna come up on your phone and you have to give them the barcode and you're gonna swipe your card, gonna enter the amount of bags that you got so that they can pay for their own bags. Some stores will have you scan the receipt afterwards. Some will not require you to do that. Sometimes the app acts a little weird, as I was encountering today, and it won't allow you to scan something that you need to scan, and you'll have to force it and like take a picture. And I believe the customer gets to review everything before you check out. I'm gonna pack the car up now and then we'll be on our way to make our delivery. We got our groceries. I pack them. I like to pack my stuff on the floor in the car as opposed to in the trunk, just because that works for me. Sometimes things move around. Skirt, whip it. So I prefer to do it in the back seat. That just works for me. Everybody has, you know, what works for them. And of course, my cart, I just keep everything in the back seat because that's what works for me. You got to figure out what works for you. Now I'm going to start delivery. En route now to go deliver their groceries. So sometimes they will give you very, very specific instructions as to parking and everything. I am downtown. It's in a high rise that has parking restrictions or no parking or whatever. That's really helpful, but sometimes they don't. So I'm gonna follow this customer's instructions, and it pops up when you say you're on the way to deliver. I'm gonna follow their instructions. I'm checking with security for parking and everything. I get 20 minutes free parking. Whoop! This is my job. I want to make money, not spend money. Anyways, I'm gonna go park. It's me and my delivery on my way to go deliver to my client. Things you got to deal with: escalators. I've been walking for a while now. Sometimes it's a little maze to get where you need to go to deliver. I had to check in with security, and now I have to check in with security again. Hey again. So they gave me a card for the elevator. Some places the security is so tight you would think you're trying to steal a crown jewel or something. Like I'm just trying to deliver groceries. I finished my delivery. Boom. When you're done with your delivery, you're gonna want to hit item delivered. I usually don't do it until I have service because my service disconnects a lot, especially when I'm in these high rises. This was an easier delivery because it was one customer. It was one order in the batch. They had parking and everything. You have to stay very organized. Sometimes you'll have multiple in your batch. You have to keep them separated. And sometimes in a batch you'll have multiple orders and you have to keep them separated by name, or even when you're shopping, it'll put all the people's groceries together. So it's up to you to separate the groceries. And also when you're delivering, you want to put all the heavier things on the bottom and all the lighter things on the top of your cart when you're delivering. You're just packing in general so you don't mess up people's groceries because they're not gonna like that. just a couple tips. So I finished my delivery and I am going to wait for another one. And I pick a busy zone because I want to keep working, because you'll find out that some zones you don't get a lot of deliveries and then you have to wait a lot. Either way, you're gonna pretty much be in the car for the most of the time. So almost immediately after finishing my last delivery, I got another one. This one is just a delivery. It's not full service, so I'm not shopping for the people, if that helps. Boom, yellow, orange, all that. I'm just gonna go pick up the bags. I'll show you what it looks like, because in each place when you get there, you have to find the Instacart area where it will allow you to get the bags that you're looking for. I think I'm doing this one for either 1 or 2 customers, but either way, I'm gonna go and then I'm gonna give you a quick glance and then I'll be back to tell you a little bit more about it. Have to deliver for one person. These bags, when you go and get them, they have names on them so that you know to deliver them. And when you have multiple, you have to scan the box at each delivery so that you know people are getting their own. So I'm gonna pack up the car and head on to delivery. Ow! I'm playing. I'm in traffic right now on the way to my delivery. When you're in the car, make sure you plug up your phone, because you're on your phone all day, so it's gonna die. You feel me? Every time you get in the car, plug your stuff up and don't run like extra apps. I mean, if you're doing back to back to back, you ain't got time to do no extra apps, you know? Just a little advice from your helpful Instacart shopper. I just finished my delivery. I ended up walking around the front instead of waiting for the freight elevator because it was taking too long. As soon as I finished delivering, have a new delivery. This one's a bigger batch, is for 3 customers, so today is gonna get really busy. I'm gonna go do that and then I'll check in with you guys at the end of the day. Thank you. Show you how much I made and everything. See you later. Holla. I'm at another delivery. This one is just deliveries for multiple people, so you'll see multiple bags. There's a bunch of bags on the floor and everything packed nice. I'm getting really hungry. You do have the option of taking a 20-minute break, you know, if you want to keep making money. I'm not gonna take a break. I'm just gonna go in another grocery store, grab myself some snacks or something. Hey, I'm done with Instacart for today. I finished my last delivery at like 4. Something happened today. My phone died. So that was interesting, because then I had to go in the car and charge for a little bit. Obviously that affects the time that you take, and you want to take less time. So like I said, stay charged up. I worked from like 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. today. I made $58.35. I was like almost $60. For cash out, I would only be able to take like, I think it said 41 something, because you're not allowed to take the customer tips. So I made 41 something from Instacart today, and then the customer tips, they would give it to me on, I believe it's Wednesday or whenever it is that your pay, it's your direct deposit. An overview of Instacart. It's a very active job, because you're not just driving, you're delivering, you're shopping for groceries. You have to take the groceries up to the people, you have to go through security, you have to be organized. It's multiple things that you're doing. Like I said, you have to be very, very organized, have a lot of energy. This isn't for people who want to sit down, because you have to do a lot. Overall, I thought it was enjoyable. The people were pretty nice. In the end, the last order took so long because they kept changing things, or when the things they wanted wasn't available, they wanted me to replace it with something else. So you just have to follow what the people say, so you know they are willing to tip you more. So thanks for riding with Cost. I'm doing Instacart today, and I will see you next time.